So yesterday, I think shocking no one, R. Kelly was convicted of all the crimes that he was charged with. And I think that there was pretty much a deafening silence from the public. I think that people were not shocked at the result. I think that what I noticed consistently is that there was not a lot of investment in society. Like, people were pretty assured that the result would be what it was, which of course that he was convicted. And I suspect that is because a lot of people in society feel like R. Kelly did it. I am among them. And I think it says a lot about a society where that is the pervasive attitude, but it is allowed to go on and on and on and on. It says a lot about our society that I don't think this trial is happening absent the documentary, absent Surviving R. Kelly. It says a lot about a society where our emotions and our sense of justice is connected to a remote. Because absent that documentary, I don't think we're here, or more specifically, that he's here. And I think that it's indicative of who we are as a society. If you look at what happens with Catholic priests, or has happened with Catholic priests, it was allowed to go on in full view of everybody. Everybody knew what was happening. Why? The Boy Scouts of America recently had to pay $860 million to settle 60,000 allegations of child molestation. Why? It is because when you are talented or an institution, people will look the other way. He is the Pied Piper, and R. Kelly got away with a lot of things surely based on his talent. Boy Scouts and Catholic priests get away with things in terms of sexually assaulting our children because of their institutional status, because they are upheld as an institution, because we believe in the sanctity of that institution while sacrificing our children. And I don't count myself any differently. I thought when the allegations were percolating last time, Chocolate Factory came out. And I think that nobody should be so talented that it drowns out the screams and anguish of children who are suffering. And I also think it says a lot about the men and women who for years lived with him, worked with him, provided him with these children and knew what was going on and turned the other way, only to go to the trial and act as if they were not involved in it at all. If anything, they should be on trial for being accomplices. As a society in general, we have all been somewhat accomplices by continuing to support a man we knew to be wrong. We knew what he was doing. We knew what happened with Aaliyah. Now, I'm not saying we knew all the dirty details, but we knew enough to know that it was wrong and it was damaging children. I count myself among them. I don't exclude myself from that. I think we have to decide what kind of society we are going to have. We cannot just use children for slogans. We cannot say things, well, they grown, they know what they were doing. We can't allow our society to keep saying things like it takes a village to raise a child, and I believe the children are our future, and do nothing to protect them. Whether they're being shot up in schools or preyed on by predators, it seems to be our response to these kind of atrocities is deafening silence. We know what's going on. We know what our children are going through. Why do these things keep being allowed to happen? It is because we oftentimes, based on who you are, be it an institution or a talented human being, we look the other way. We make excuses. And all the while, we are raising a nation full of damaged, unprotected children. And I know that can't be the intent. That can't be what this is all about. We don't have children, I'm sure, to see them brutalized, to see them broken, only to grow up and potentially do the same things. We are raising a nation full of broken men and women, all while we dance and sing and pay tribute to these institutions and or people who are determined to run amok and do the things they want. No one is so talented, no institution is so chaste that it is worth sacrificing our children's future. I am sorry that children went through that. I am sorry I participated. I am sorry that I turned a deaf eye. I can tell you, a deaf ear. I can tell you that. But honestly, now that R. Kelly has been convicted, and he should have been, we need to go after some of those people who we know to be doing these things. We know that they've done them. And now it is their turn. And absent a documentary, we might have had that, but we also know that they're damaging children and they need to be held to the same standard. Whether you sit in the office of the president, whether you sing a song, whether you sit in the board of a charity or a church, if you have done these things, you need to be held accountable. It need to be no difference whether you're a singer or a priest or a politician. If you are damaging children, all of them need to be held to the same standard. That is a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It is the D.L. Hughley Show.